if you forget, you could always use last year's.
Right. Yeah, we always have last year's. Okay, Simin test. We're doing Yichus Tzitzis. Sif Dalet. B'shas Kshira Tzitzis. Hayaneka Rocha Kshir. When you're tying, this is a very, very common question. In B'shas Kshira Tzitzis, when you're tying the Tzitzis, Hayaneka Rocha Kshir. The nekev is the whole. Like we learned yesterday that it has to be a certain measurement from the edge, not too close, not too far, and then it rips. And then either the hole gets ripped or the edge of the talis gets ripped. Where the tzitza is less than the shear. It's not possible. It's a very interesting halacha. Only b'shas the asiya is it an issue, but not shalei b'shas asiya. Shenema va'asu lem tzitzis al kan v'evigdayim. But still, it's better to make like a seam, whatever. So make it thicker around the hole so it doesn't tear, which most people's tzitzis have. That it shouldn't be less than the shear of a thumb, the length of a thumb. Meaning it's still going to be kosher, but that's the lechatchila. You want to make it make sure that it's that way. Hey, you're supposed to make 5 double knots, right? Meaning 2 knots each. Then there's 4 chulios between them. You put in the 4 strings into the hole, and you tie it with 2 knots, and you wrap it with the long string, that's called the shamash, meaning the longer string. 7 wraps, and then you do another 2. And then you do 8, and then 2 knots, then you do 11. And then you tie the 2 knots, and then you put 13, and then 2 knots. Since it's considered noi tzitzis, that all the chulya should be equal, the first chulya, meaning the first set of strings where you only have 7, meaning you want the same amount of room in between the knots. Do a little closer. The sheer kol eirach hatzitza, and the length of the whole tzitza dahainu min hakesher rishon from the first knot till the end. You want those knots with all the 7, 9, 11, 13. You want that all to be at least 12 fingers width. Basically, you want the knots and the things going around it. Meaning the knots part of the tzitzis to be 1/3, and the length of the strings to be 2/3. That's why you want each chulya to be the thickness of a finger. If they're longer, meaning you want to move them in ratio, which is meaning all those guys that come back, what they call the flip outs, they come back from Eretz Yisrael with the tzitzis hanging out to their toes. So it shouldn't just be that the tzitzis themselves are, the strings themselves are, but just the chulya shouldn't, right?
Isn't there usually one tzitz that's longer than everything else?
Yes, that's the shamash. That's the shamash, which is really okay.
Shamash is okay to go down to your toes.
No, it shouldn't be that long. You can cut it. If you can cut it, there's nothing wrong with cutting it. Shamash had to cut it, right? Fine. What? You can cut tzitzis, it's just not, preferably not with metal.
Yeah, but okay, but Rabbi Stein, I think, says that you're not allowed to use ceramic knives either, right?
No, ceramic you can use.
How would
Oh,
you
it's
cut
not
it without
considered
metal?
like-
How would you cut it without metal?
What?
How do you cut it without metal?
Special scissors.
There's
Ceramic
actual scissors
scissors.
that
They have
Ceramic
ceramic knives.
scissors. The ceramic
Ceramic.
scissors. They sell it in the Judaica stores. You could also use a plastic knife. You could also burn it off.
Oh wow.
That's-
Never knew that.
all sorts of options.
I never knew they sell those. Okay, that's right.
That's why you're on the shear tonight.
There you
Wow,
go.
look at that. That's the only reason.
Go out and buy stock in the ceramic scissors companies because now it's out there. Okay. Meaning you want to make sure that the 4 strings stay on the same side. Right? Meaning don't mix them up. Each string should be half this way and half this way. Fine, Bob.
Yeah, but that's easy to find, right? Because you could after your first knot, you see it right away.
Correct. Once you get the first knot, you want to make You want to make sure all 4 that go through one side stay on that side. Correct. And the reason for that is if the strings get cut too short, so then it's easier to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, the easiest way when you're doing it, just the side that doesn't have the long shamash, you just tie a small knot in the end. And you always know side from side.
You're giving me PTSD from a Osamisa that I will not mention on the recorded line.
I don't know what you're talking about, but okay.
I remember the hotel and somebody with the same last name said something stupid. Yeah, sorry.
You just said not to mention it, so let's move on.
Okay, fine.
Bob, I didn't say not to mention it, but I think that's wise. Vav, im loy pasak es a chut in zemizeh, ela shaloka chut echad aruch ba'oid kfalei la'arba. So this is meaning we said to take 4 separate strings and put it through and then fold it over, right? So that makes 8. But let's say you didn't do that. What you did is you took 1 string and you kept weaving it back and forth until you got yourself 8. Right? So im loy pasak es a chut in zemizeh, ela shaloka chut echad aruch ba'oid kfalei la'arba. Then you folded it over in 4. Then you put it into the hole, shot them and tied them. And then you cut them. Right? So that's possible because they didn't have the proper strings. And right? So then the strings weren't kosher when you put them in, so there's no good. You need it that the tzitzis, when they're being made on the beged, is kahalacha. Don't make them puzzle. And afterwards make them kosher with the ma'isa shenitzu, that they do them properly. That's a psul. Let's say the tzitzis were done properly on a different beged. And the beged got torn, but right to losses is a tzitza came to beged acher, and you want to put the tzitza on a different beged, or even on this beged. Let's say the talis got split, meaning the talis totally broke open. Before we said that it doesn't make a difference if the hole gets larger, but there has to be that the corner is intact. But if the whole tzitzis falls right off, right? And you want to just take the whole set of tzitzis and put it onto another beged and then sew it up. I think I just went back. And I go, it says, and then meaning basically what you're doing is you're putting the whole tzitzis folded over with the knots onto a beged, and then you're sewing the beged around it. Also, kosher is a tzitzis b'shasha talis zeh potter tzitzis. Let's say you tied the tzitzis when it was potter. Let's say, like we said yesterday or 2 days ago, if the whole side of the beged is sewn, then that doesn't need tzitzis. So then you put on tzitzis, and then you cut up the beged, then that's no good. And then you will matter the tfiras until the row of it is open and it's chayv and tzitzis. If you show what tzitzis kamoy shehein, if the tzitzis are kept the way they were, gam came psulim mishum tasav v'loymena also. You have to untie them and go back and tie them. And anything similar to that. Before you wrap yourself in a talis, check the tzitzis, see if they're kosher. And you have to also check the strings that are in the hole and that are in the, the wrappings. You should also separate the strings. They shouldn't be attached to each other. And if you're late for shul, by the time you're checking your tzitzis, then it's bittul tefillah b'tzibur, then you don't have to do this whole thing, right? But the Mishnah Berurah says that's only if you know from yesterday that they were good. But if you haven't seen them in a while, then it's a problem.
The problem is coming late to shul every day, so you don't have a chance to check them.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. So kol mitzvahs mevarich alein over lasiyosan. You make a bracha on them when over lasiyosan means before you do it, even though over means passing, you're doing it. It means before. Peter's kaidem asi before you do it. La'achar bracha take from miyad tzarich lasis is a mitzvah b'li hefsek, and after the bracha immediately you have to do the mitzvah without a hefsek. Right? So meaning you can't make the bracha and then decide to check your tzitzis or whatever it is.
Oh, is that why people put it over their head, say the bracha, because it's where it's not technically on them?
Yeah, you're supposed to hold it up as we'll get to that. Right?
Oh my God,
let's see. Lachein Aruch is a talis b'shtei yada. Hold the talis with both hands. V'yechaven shetzivonu HaKadosh Baruch Hu l'sata b'tzitzis k'dei sheniskar es kol mitzvos of lasosim shenem arisam es v'schadem es kol mitzvos Hashem. V'yivarach me'umad l'sata b'tzitzis. And he says the base is a pasach because that's a controversy. Some say it's not a controversy, but there's different opinions. Some say batzitzis, some say bitzitzis. And then you take the talis and put it over your head, your mouth, until below your mouth, right? And afterwards you take the corners and you put it over your neck, that's literally, or the shoulder. And then you throw it over the shoulder like a Yishmaeli, like an Arab. And you leave it that way, the amount of time that it takes to walk 4 amos.
So you mean that whole thing where you basically whip the guy next to you with your tzitzis? That's actually halacha?
Yes, it is.
Well, don't whip him.
Doesn't say to whip him.
What halacha says.
Correct.
Why is that a tifa yishmaelis? Why do we do that?
What?
Why a tifa yishmaelis? Why?
Why? Because that seems to be the way that they wore talesim back then. I think. I'm not sure, but that was meaning everybody. You look at all the pictures of like Avram Avinu from this parsha, from the whatever. If he wasn't either he was wearing a shtreimel, or he looked like an Arab. I don't know an Arab exactly, but with robes, that type of thing.
Like this is like Baba Sali type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So many people have different customs of how to wrap themselves. Like,
what do you mean?
I mean, I've seen people wrap themselves in different ways.
Don't walk. Most people are not doing it correct. Unfortunately, most are just not.
So there is only one correct way according to this.
Yes, I'm sure there's multiple ways.
Spartam do it a little differently.
Yeah, what about the Lubavitch guys? They like tuck it up. They tuck it up, instead of an all like shul way, they do it underneath.
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about? Basically they make it that it goes. They take like the sides of talis and they basically tuck them under the shoulder type of thing, where so it's like it looks like a big bulge of wool.
Isn't that when they're wearing it, not when they're putting it on?
Right, when they're wearing it, right.
We're talking about putting it on now.
Right.
Oh, Gotcha.
Okay, so Azai Kishu Mevarach al Talas Gadol Yicham Bracha Zu. Where did I leave? No, I'm sorry, I skipped. Where am I up to? Yeah, so it's either bit tzitzis or batzis. Visata miyadis rosha ad lamata mipiv. You put it immediately over your head until lower than your mouth. Fine. Yamar kach kedei hiluk karbamas. I just read that. Fine, I'm sorry. Yamar apsukim ma yokar. And then you can take it off your head. All right. You should be careful. It's proper. Let's say you have to. It's proper to make sure you don't drag the tzitzis on the ground. Then you can lift it up and you could stick them into your belt like this. The tzitzis don't drag. We only make a bracha on tzitzis during the day, not at night. You shouldn't, this is very negaya, this week and next week. You should not make a bracha until you can recognize them between tchelis and lavan. Lavash is a talis cotton by Lila, and if you
we have lights in the shul.
Right, but no, it has to be according to outside without lights. Right, even though yes, theoretically now, yeah, maybe nowadays all the halacha changes. That's possible. Lavash is a talis cotton by Lila. If you wear the talis cotton when it's night, below beirach alav, and you don't make the bracha, or you're wearing them when the hands are not clean, you can't make a bracha. That which could happen also. Really, you're supposed to put the tzitzis on right in the morning and not walk dalet amos with that. But you have to go to the bathroom. You can't make the bracha. So when you make the bracha on the talis gadol, then you have kavanah on the talis katan. And Omisha ain't talis gadol, and loivish as a talis katan b'yom v'yodem nekiyos yivarach alav al mitzvahs tzitzis. Not lisati b'tzitzis. Life shoy kishaina yachal varach alav, and if you wear it when you're not able to make a bracha, azai anagagshu yoim when it's day v'yodem nekiyos and your hands are clean, you can chas a tzitzis b'yodem and take the tzitzis in your hand v'yivarach al mitzvahs tzitzis. So basically, if you're a single guy and you're putting on tzitzis in the morning nowadays, let's say 6 o'clock, which is way before this man. So then when it hits this man, lift up the tzitzis in your hand, and then you can make the bracha.
So you're supposed to lift them up of your shoulder, or just hold them in your hands?
I think just hold them in your hand. That's what he says. I think
which part are you holding in your hands? Even the front of it?
I think both, the front and the back. The front, both.
So you take them on your shoulders?
No, I think you just lift up the tzitzis.
I'm saying, what does it mean lift up the tzitzis? You lift up the front of it, the back of it, any part, or you have to lift up where they sitting on your shoulders?
Oh no, just the actual strings. I think.
Just with all 4 strings, all 4.
Yeah. I think that's what he says. I mean, I think that's what he means.
Those that wear talis gadol, why don't you make the bracha on the talis katan in the morning right away?
Oh, so 1 second, we'll get there. Let's just finish the paragraph. If you slept in it, you shouldn't make a bracha at all. When you wear a talis gadol, you have kavanah. Yes. So the minig in the velt is that we don't make a bracha. Most do not make a bracha on the talis katan nowadays. I mean, those that are married. I'm not sure why that is. Probably because it's more of the mitzvah. That's what I think. I think it's because it's more of the mitzvah. But
there are some that do.
There are some that make on the talis katan and then on the talis gadol. The question is if you have a big hefsek, right? Meaning nowadays, not nowadays, but let's say you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? And you put on your tzitzis, and then you're not going to daven till like 7:30. So that's a 2.5 hours that you're wearing your tzitzis without a bracha.
You're saying you should
Okay,
say
but can you say a bracha that early in the morning? Let's say before Alois.
Freeze it up.
So even if after a loss.
Even after Alois, yeah, even after Alois. Yeah.
Before.
What about
before.
What do you mean?
what about
you get
Tisha B'Av?
Tisha B'Av, with the minhag. So Tisha B'Av is a big shiloh whether you make a bracha on tzitzis in the morning. So that's why that's the one night a year of Shemazalman Orbach says that you should sleep in tzitzis.
So
every
and
year
let's
I
say
forget to
somebody
do that.
who would daven, and let's say somebody who would daven mincha later in the day, not right.
Nothing you can do. What are you going to do? By mincha,
I'm
you're
saying
supposed to have.
according to this, it's also long. It's even longer hefsek.
What do you mean? Hefsek
If you're
from
gonna
what?
daven mincha later, closer to Shkia,
No, but it's a shiloh whether you make a bracha on tzitzis on Tisha B'Av.
stam. But I'm
Stam.
saying we do but afternoon.
We make on the talis, not on the talis.
On the
kata.
talis. Right. So I'm saying, what about talis kata in afternoon? If you're gonna
No,
put on your talis gadol only.
No.
Still not.
Yeah, unless you take a long nap. Maybe if you take a long nap and then you take off your tzitzis, like a 3-4 hour nap, which a lot of people do on Tisha B'Av, maybe then, because it's a hefsek, so maybe then you should. But I'm not sure. Okay, we will stop over there. Everybody should have a fine night.
Thank you. I hope you actually get out of your car tonight.
Oh, and I got out of one car. I got into Naftali's car.
Yeah,
Now
I hope you actually get out of the cars.
This is not even Lakewood week. What's going on?
This is bar mitzvah tonight. I think I'm good for the rest of the week.
I thought next week is Lakewood week.
Next few weeks.
Sheesh.
You get out? Yeah, I'm coming out. Yeah.
So the bottom line is with this talis thing, you have to like throw it like the Arab, but you could like sort of skip it. You're Yotze anyway.
No, you got to do like the Arab.
Whip that guy behind you.
Yes, if you want to have fun with it, yes.
Erev Yom Kippur.
I mean, you're really not allowed to. You're not allowed to do other things. You can't put it in the house in someone's ear, right? It's just
So what?
you can't really play with the sisters to tickle someone's ear with it. You said
You're not supposed to play with tzitzis. Yes.
Wait, so you got it. So the Arab thing is to the right or to the left?
Anyways, all right, I gotta go.
Is the Arab thing to the right or the left?
Thank you.
What?
Is the Arab thing to the right or the left?
Here.
Say what?
The what?
The Arab
Can't hear
thing,
you,
is that
Avi.
to the right? Is the Arab thing to the
You
right
gotta
or
do
to
it.
the left?
Can't hear you clearly.
No,
so-
but which way? You put it to your right side or left side?
Either
Right side or
one.
left side?
Either one.
Either one. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Tag us up.
Okay. Yeah, you too.